MNPS. MNPS is the abbreviation for Minimum Navigation Performance Specification. The North Atlantic Airspace, NAT, is regulated according to the ICAO document 7030, Additional Regional Procedures. The MNPS airspace of the North Atlantic extends from 27 to 90 degrees north and vertically between levels 285 and 420. Penetration into the North Atlantic oceanic airspace is subject to a mandatory clearance. Flights within the NAT region shall be conducted in accordance with IFR when operating at or above flight level 60 or 2,000 feet above ground level, whichever is the higher. Arriving at the point of entry into MNPS airspace over the North Atlantic, except Shannon Oceanic, and not having received the oceanic clearance, the crew may keep flying in accordance with the current flight plan. The minimum navigation equipment required for an aircraft flying without restrictions in MNPS airspace can be at the very least 2 inertial navigation units. For an operation in MNPS airspace along notified special routes, unless otherwise specified, an aircraft must be equipped with at least one long-range navigation system. A pilot whose aircraft does not have MNPS certification has to fly via Shannon Gander on a Great Circle. The flight can be planned at flight level 280 or less. In MNPS airspace, the speed reference for turbojet aircraft is the Mach number. When leaving the MNPS oceanic controlled area for a domestic controlled area, the pilot has to maintain the Mach number previously assigned up to the last position shown in the oceanic clearance. The climb or descent through MNPS airspace of a non-MNPS certified aircraft is authorized under radar control if the aircraft is in VHF contact with the MNPS controller. In the NAT region, a revised estimate should be transmitted to the air traffic service when the estimated time for the next position has changed by 3 minutes. The minimum lateral separation in the NAT region is 60 nautical miles between aircraft meeting MNPS. The minimum longitudinal spacing of 2 aircraft flying in MNPS airspace at the same flight level and same Mach number is 10 minutes. During the flight of 2 aircraft in MNPS airspace with a leading aircraft flying at higher speed, the longitudinal separation must not be below 5 minutes. Reduced vertical separation minimum within the NAT region may be used between flight level 290 and flight level 410. So normal same direction traffic vertical separation between flight level 290 and flight level 410 may be reduced from 2,000 feet to 1,000 feet. If reduced vertical separation minimum is used when operating in MNPS airspace, a separation of 60 nautical miles lateral and 1,000 foot vertical will be provided. Organised track system. The validity period of a daytime westbound organised track system in MNPS airspace is normally at 030 west between 11:30 to 1900 Zulu. The validity period of a nighttime eastbound organised track system in MNPS airspace is normally at 030 west between 1 o'clock in the morning and 8 o'clock in the morning Zulu. During a flight to Europe planned in MNPS airspace, you expect to cross the 030 west meridian at 1100 UTC. You will then normally be outside of the validity period of the organised flight track system. During a flight to Europe planned in MNPS airspace, you expect to cross the 030 west meridian at 0030 UTC. You will then normally be outside of the validity period of the organised flight track system. During a flight to Europe scheduled in MNPS airspace, you expect to cross the 030 West Meridian at 3 in the morning, Zulu. You will normally be in a nighttime OTS. During a flight to Europe scheduled in MNPS Airspace, you expect to cross the 030 West Meridian at 13:30 UTC. You will normally be in a daytime OTS. During a flight to Europe planned in MNPS Airspace, you expect to cross the 030 West Meridian at 10 o'clock in the morning, Zulu. You will then normally be in random airspace. During a flight to Europe planned in MNPS Airspace, you expect to cross the 030 West Meridian at 23:30 Zulu. You will then normally be in random airspace. If the flight is planned to operate along the whole length of one of the organised tracks, the intended organised track should be defined in items of the flight plan by the abbreviation NAT, followed by the code letter assigned to the track. MNPS Airspace Communications. A check of the operation of the selective cooling equipment during a transatlantic flight using the OTS must be done at or prior to entering the NAT region. An air traffic unit may require an aircraft to report position when flying east-west south of 70 north between 005 west and 065 west at every 10 degrees of longitude. The air traffic unit may require an aircraft to report position when flying east-west north of 70 north between 10 west and 50 west at every 20 degrees of longitude. The frequency designated for VHF air-to-air communications when out of range of VHF ground stations in the NAT region is 123.45 MHz. In the event of communication failure in MNPS airspace, the pilot must continue their flight in compliance with the last oceanic clearance received and acknowledged by them. In the event of an en route high-frequency communication failure in MNPS airspace, the appropriate VHF frequency for air-to-air communications is 123.45 MHz. Contingencies. In the MNPS area, a pilot should first of all take the following actions in the event of a failure of the last INS. Notify air traffic control and wait for reply within a reasonable time. If all long-range navigation systems of an aircraft become unserviceable during a flight in MNPS airspace, and if no instructions are received from ATC, you must consider climbing or descending 500 feet, i.e. take an intermediate flight level. In the event of a contingency which requires an en route diversion to an alternate aerodrome across the direction of the prevailing NAT traffic, and if prior ATC clearance cannot be obtained, an aircraft able to maintain its assigned flight level should, while turning towards the alternate aerodrome, if below flight level 410, climb or descend 500 feet, if at flight level 410, climb 1000 feet or descend 500 feet, if above flight level 410, climb or descend 1000 feet. If not able to maintain its assigned flight level, it should start its climb or descent while turning to acquire an offset by 30 nautical miles from its assigned route or track. An aircraft operating within MNPS airspace is unable to continue flight in accordance with its ATC clearance due to degradation of NAV performance requirements, mechanical troubles. But it's able to maintain its assigned flight level, and due to a total loss of communication capabilities, could not obtain a revised clearance from ATC. The aircraft should leave its assigned route or track by turning 90 degrees to the right or left, whenever that is possible, and then turn to acquire and maintain in either direction a track laterally separated by 30 nautical miles from its assigned route, and, if below 410, climb or descend 500 feet, if at flight level 410, climb 1000 feet or descend 500 feet, and if above flight level 410, climb or descend 1,000 feet.